This is Theoretical Thrills, the podcast where three hosts pitch original theoretical rides and attractions based on things they don't own. A special guest judge awards bronze, silver, or gold based on three separate categories: most creative, most practical, and guest's favorite. Whoever has the least amount of points at the end of the season must drive to Disneyland, touch the first gate, and drive home. With bragging rights on the line, the hosts will try to pick each other's ideas apart through gentle ribbing. So sit back, relax, and stand clear of the moving doors as we present Theoretical Thrills.
Theoretical Thrills, the theory of the thrill.
In 3, 2, fun!
Hey everybody, welcome to Theoretical Thrills. My name's Oliver.
I'm Brad.
I'm Spencer.
And we're joined this week by a very special guest, Jimmy Mack. And Jimmy's going to be joining us for our lovely episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. Jimmy, how you doing today?
Hey, not too bad. How's it going, guys?
It's going well. We're all glad to have you here. Jimmy, why Star Trek The Next Generation? What's your relationship with Star Trek?
I kind of grew up with it. My dad was huge into it. He loved sci-fi and, just weirdness. I never really got totally into the original series. There were some episodes that I liked. The Doomsday Machine was really cool. But yeah, I think Next Gen just hit me at the right age, staying up late past my bedtime to watch it with my dad. It was really cool. Loved it so much, in fact, that, I was watching an episode once at work, and they had Data's head there. And I was like, he looks like BJ Novak from The Office. And I was like, I have to make a joke about this, but if I just post it to Facebook, no one's going to know what I'm talking about. And so it inspired me to do the Shut Up Wesley podcast, which is our filthy love letter to Star Trek Next Gen.
Excellent. And where can people find that podcast?
Shut Up Wesley Podcast .com, I think.
Cool, great confident.
It's been a minute. We've been on hiatus for the better part of a year, but we've got, we're on season 7 right now.
Wow, congratulations. That's awesome. Well, we thank you so much for being here, and not just being a Star Trek fan. We're talking theme parks here because the purpose of this show is to come up with theoretical rides and attractions based on a theme, and then it'll be Star Trek: The Next Generation. What is your relationship with theme parks?
Love them.
Right.
That's all we need.
Back home in Utah, we had Lagoon, which was, and I assume still is, basically a glorified carnival. They had a couple good roller coasters. And then, one of my earliest memories was riding the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland with my grandfather and just being blown away by it, there at the end when they project the ghost into your Doom buggy, I just couldn't figure out how they did it. We went back on the ride and we broke down right in front of the singing busts. And again, it just blew my mind. I just couldn't figure out how it looked like stone busts singing. It blew my mind. So, yeah, at certain times I've had annual passes to Disneyland. Love, Magic Mountain. Love the rides there. You always think you're going to die, which is awesome.
Sure do.
You do.
Yeah, that X2 is just insanity. This is stupid, but I always you guys remember the Terminator roller coaster there at Six Flags? Have you guys been on that?
Yep.
Where they rebranded it. And there was some, I can't remember the actor's name, but, just like the lowest credited actor does this, this intro to the ride. And he's like, oh no, like the machines are coming. They're here right off the highway at Valencia. And I would turn to the crowd and go, no, that's where we are. It always got a good laugh.
So you were the riverboat captain, but for a different ride.
Yeah, totally. No, I was steering that thing.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to jump right into it. Today, you're going to be listening to our pitches, and as always, you're going to be awarding points based on what you thought based on 3 categories. And Spencer, what are those categories one more time?
The 3 categories are practicality, which is a ride or an attraction that in literally a practical world would fit into a Star Trek Next Generation land at a theme park. The second category is creativity, which is one that is just one of the most creative ideas and concepts, whether it's for a theme park or for Star Trek Next Generation in general. And the third one is overall favorite, which is generally the one that tickles our guest funny bone the most, or just the one that they like overall.
Great. So, Jimmy, I understand what you're looking for. You're going to be giving us first place, which will be worth 3 points, second place, which will be worth 2, and third place, which will be worth 1, like a gold, silver, and bronze. Feel free to start off with your bronze when the time comes. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Jimmy, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, boys. Spencer, take it away.
All right, so my first idea is the Starfleet Academy, the experience. And it's a little bit different than the general Starfleet Academy because there's a bunch of these. But it's a real-life version of the video games, Bridge Crew Online and Legacy. I don't know if people are laughing. I've never seen Star Trek, so this is really important for me. But it's a real-life version of the games Bridge Crew Online and Legacy, where guests board the USS Enterprise and train to become the next crew to join Jean-Luc Picard in saving the Earth. And so this ride type is sort of like Millennium Falcon meets the Kung Fu Panda ride at Universal, where it's very interactive as far as Millennium Falcon is concerned, but it's not an actual motion simulator. So when you shoot stars and things, whatever you're saving the Earth from, the seats rumble and the seats float like you're in space. There are sound effects and all of this, but you actually feel it in real time based on the system in which is being presented. So it's not a Millennium Falcon ride in that there's some interactivity that changes how everything works or how long you're flying the plane, but it's overall generally the same concept. This is actually in real time. You're playing this as if you're in the USS Enterprise. So that's my first attraction. It's a hybrid Millennium Falcon, Kung Fu Panda without so much as it's not as motion simulator. My next attraction is an all Klingon adventure with Worf. And this is a live indoor show, sort of like Terminator 2, but it meets an AR experience of Harry Potter. So when you arrive in the theater, you sit not in typical rows of seats, but in a setup that's like USS Enterprise, but there's more seats to accommodate for more people. So it's a little different than the actual setup of the USS Enterprise. But you kind of sit wherever you want, more in like an immersive way to watch the show, which is entirely presented in 360 AR. So when you walk in, all the screens are set up as if you're in space, but the AR makes it look like you feel in space, but there are several actors playing Klingons, sort of like the Terminator ride, where there's actual actors coming in that guide you through a day in the life of Worf and his Klingon pals.
Hey, so you're saying that it'll just be a bunch of black screens?
No,
That's what it is.
Space. It's AR, so there's
When you're in space, it's black.
stars, there's novas, there's like
You see that because of the atmosphere.
it's like a planetarium, I guess, in a way. So the
Oh, so
AR.
you're not in space.
Hey, let the guy have it.
Here's the thing. I just don't think it would be that fun because in space no one can hear you scream.
See?
Sure. But what I didn't get to say with this yet is the entire show is presented in Klingon with English subtitles and super titles that are presented throughout the craft. This show is being told in a 360 element. So you have the super titles and subtitles all over, and you can follow that as you watch the show, interact with Worf and the other Klingons aboard the USS Enterprise. So that's my second attraction. My next attraction is Cisco's Creole Kitchen, which I did check, and it is in Star Trek The Next Generation. And it is a mock-up of the Creole Kitchen owned by Cisco, but it includes dishes such as the Heart of Tar on a bed of collard greens with a side of Betazoid black-eyed peas and Tears of the Prophets, which is also known as white rice in this case. The Chicken Skin of Evil, which is a chicken bowl with a mix-in of chicken skin broth, Betazoid black-eyed peas, and a bit of Jean-Luc Balaya, or jambalaya rice.
No.
No Jean-Luc Custard?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
Give Jim
And
that and a hammer. He nailed it.
yep, you know what? And also, I spent a lot of time coming up with these, and he did it on the spot. But that's okay. And also, corn on the cob, which is corn on the cob with a splash of rib rub and/or vegan crema. So you can have your vegan corn or your not vegan corn. And so that's my third. It's like a little small, like if you were in New Orleans in a little cafe like Pierre Maspero's or like a po' boys kind of situation. That's what this kind of little nice cafe is. And the servers are all very versed in Star Trek and the Klingon universe, so they're able to answer questions, kind of trivia style, if you have questions for them, and do this in this world. And my final, my final attraction is Ralph Lauren show. And what it is a fashion show with a Star Trek infusion where Lauren wears Ralph Lauren and the audience votes on their favorite outfit. So it's a 20-minute fashion show where Lauren wears Ralph Lauren. And I'm very proud of this pitch because I thought it was funny. I mean, it's just literally, it's Lauren, someone playing Lauren, wearing things made by Ralph Lauren, and the audience votes on their favorite at the end. And those are my pitches. Thank you.
Way to finish strong, bud.
I have questions.
Yes, Jimmy, you at the front. Feel free.
The Academy attraction. What's the Wesley Crusher quotient there?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, because that may be a deal breaker. I assume that the overall food court for this theme park would be called the Smorgasbord.
Like that.
Thank you. Does Michelle Forbes reprise her role as Lauren?
That's a great question. I don't think she's available for a 7-day-a-week park plan. So it would be someone who looks very similar. I also don't know if she's still alive. I don't know. Didn't do that much research.
Oh boy, bud.
R.I.P. or not.
Here's the thing. We all know we're losing to Brad this week, but the fact of the matter
True.
is, to be fair, and again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening now, you realize the fact that we've never heard each other's pitches before. We don't talk about it before. We only get the choice of what it is a week beforehand, and then we go into the actual pitch.
And also, on that note, as far as my Star Trek experience, I've literally seen the 2009 movie that has Chris Pine in it and Zachary Quinto, and that is the extent of my Star Trek knowledge.
I just like that of all the food options, you chose Cisco's Creole Kitchen as your go-to for adapting to a food option.
Oh,
I googled Star Trek: The Next Generation restaurants, and that was the one that kept coming up. So I just went with it.
That's not how. Okay. So those are Spencer's pitches. Jimmy, any other questions?
Okay, so in the Creole kitchen, it would really. I just need to hear that that you're allowed to kick your leg over the back of the chair like Riker. Like if I can't sit like an absolute lunatic, I'm kind of going to lose my mind.
Fair.
Sure. Yeah, so you can kind of sit however you want because the way the shape is, it's like a little cafe, but the tables are far enough apart that you won't actually interrupt another guest's experience. So you can kind of sit however you want. The chairs are not necessarily standard chairs. They kind of do this.
Yeah, those tall chairs from Star Trek.
Tall chairs from
the very easy things to fling your leg over the back.
the tall chairs.
The restaurant was great, but I kept pulling my groin every time I sat down. All right, well, those are Spencer's pitches. Again, Spencer, you never cease to amaze me. So we're going to move on to Brad's. Brad, I know you've been looking forward to this. You're out of the three of us the biggest nerd when it comes to Star Trek. So, Jimmy, buckle up. Here we go. Brad, take it away.
All right, here we go. This is what I like to call my Star Trek experience. I almost said Star Wars, and that would have been points off.
Yeah, that would have been so good.
All right, so I will say I did take some. I know Spencer and I. There's some similarities at the beginning there. First off, Starfleet Academy. Mine's going to start at Starfleet Academy because you have to have Starfleet Academy. Except I was thinking it's essentially my park's probably going to have to be in San Francisco because that's where Starfleet Academy is. But we have to at least design it to make it look like Starfleet Academy in San Francisco. It doesn't exist elsewhere.
Okay.
It's the center of the Star Trek universe here.
Sorry, just real quick. Starfleet headquarters is in San Francisco. I'm not certain that the Academy is there. Sorry to slow you down.
According to the picture I found, which Spencer will put up here, Starfleet Academy is also located in San Francisco. They sort of just made
when Wesley went, I think it was in space. Sorry, I feel like I'm holding you up here. Go ahead.
Go.
No, please, Jimmy. Please, for the love of God, correct the man.
Wesley Crusher went to a secondary school.
Yeah, it was not accredited.
So you're going to enter into the Starfleet Academy. At the Starfleet Academy, there's going to be some interactive exhibits and stuff like that. The big thing is there's going to be screens that sort of like can guide you to the different areas around and the maps and stuff, but they're going to be slightly interactive in that they're going to be digital recreations of none other than Will Wheaton. So Will Wheaton will be getting to sort of be the digital computer AI screen that you talk to give directions as to which way to go.
Jimmy, you look like you're about to explode.
Might have to stop you there, Brad. Does Majel Barrett do the voice of the computer?
Huh?
Does Majel Barrett do the voice of the computer?
We haven't gotten up to the Enterprise yet.
Good call.
I'm at the Starfleet Academy. So at the Starfleet Academy, there is several exhibits, but my main exhibit is, as Spencer pointed out, there is a Starfleet, like a Star Trek virtual reality thing that already exists in Oculus Rift. So what I want to do is I want to take that and essentially take that same concept, but make actual live action stations. So you'd be able to sit on mock-ups of the bridge, as you can see behind Jimmy Mack there. But you're going to be, everybody will have different stations. It's going to be sort of that Millennium Falcon, but I was like, well, if the game already exists, let's just take the game and modify it, take it to the next level, make it more interactive. So we get rid of the virtual reality part. We make it so that the controls are actually the controls you're getting to mess with and press the buttons on. It's going to be, since the room's going to have the ability to shake a little bit. Nothing too much because obviously safety issues, but we want to at least give a little bit of that feeling. And in order to also better ensure safety, some of those positions that would normally be standing are going to have sort of restrained sort of seats that you would station at. So this way we can get the shaking. I don't have to worry about someone falling over or stuff like that.
Really quick, I just have a couple questions.
Yeah.
What's the Wesley Crusher quotient of your Academy attraction?
Of the Academy attraction, nothing.
Okay.
We're not on the Enterprise yet.
Good. Now these chairs you're talking about, can I kick my leg over them like a madman?
Well, they're going to be designed like the chairs in Star Trek Next Generation. So if
tall chairs.
So if the chairs in the front there are the ones that he could kick his legs over, then you could also kick your legs over. But if Riker didn't kick his legs over the captain's chair or anything like that, then no, you cannot.
Okay. Last question. You were talking about the game. I assume we're talking about the game that had the cones that you would put the discs in?
No, we're talking about virtual reality Oculus Rift game.
Do you remember that episode with the cones and the discs?
No, I'm going to be
sort of a VR game. It would attach into like your like cerebral cortex. Everybody really loved that game, and then Wesley ruined it for everybody. I just wanted to point that out.
All right.
Okay. Proceed.
I don't know about you listeners, but I'm thoroughly enjoying this episode. Feel free to like and subscribe because it could be like this every week. I hope it's like this every week. It's not, but I hope it is.
And you should go back and, if you're only listening, you should go back and watch this one.
Wait.
Our faces for this whole conversation has been just a joy to watch.
All right, let me finish my pitches. I'm not done yet. I haven't even left Starfleet Academy. So the big thing at Starfleet Academy is obviously everybody wants to go to the Enterprise. Like if you're dealing with Star Trek, you want to be on the Enterprise. So I was trying to think, well, how do I want to recreate the Enterprise? How do I want to be able to be on the Enterprise? The Enterprise is huge. It's massive. That's a big undertaking. So here's what we do. Is we're going to use the shuttles. You'll go to a space bay at the Starfleet Academy. You'll be able to take a shuttle up to the Enterprise. This way you'll get to see out the screen. You'll see as you're approaching the Enterprise to land in the shuttle bay dock. It's going to take a sort of effect like a certain other space ride that exists. Space theme ride. I'm not going to say the name because we are talking Star Trek. So I'm going to use that to transport you up to the Enterprise. You will then exit onto the space bay, the shuttle bay of the Enterprise, and be able to walk around the Enterprise. One of the things that's going to be included is a restaurant, 10 Forward, which is the bar restaurant area that Whoopi Goldberg bartends. Now, I sadly probably won't be able to get Whoopi Goldberg.
Of course, we have overlap this week. Every week we manage to have some form of overlap, and of course you get that. Go on, continue.
So that's going to be my restaurant experience. You'll be able to go to the up to the actual command bridge. You'll be able to see the engineering. I want to make this a sort of interactive in that there's a certain space-themed hotel that is coming out soon, also dealing with a certain space part. I want to take that sort of concept of where it's a very interactive experience where you can sort of just stumble upon to improvised actors doing certain things like working on the Enterprise as you're sort of walking around. So you can sort of just watch these things happening. Which brings me to my second ride, my other ride, and that is called the holodeck. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hop on the holodeck. You're going to hop into a vehicle, the vehicle I love the most. It's a Men in Black vehicle. There's an episode of the holodeck where Data essentially is all of the characters, and it's
full of Data.
So what we're going to do is Wesley Crusher is going to be hooking you up with a special tour of the holodeck. Of course, he wants to make it exciting, so he's going to amp up the excitability, and instead, that's what's going to cause this Western experience for them to all be turned into Datas. It's going to be Wesley Crusher's fault. All right? So he's going to be talking to you through the speakers on your little car as you're going through, and you'll have to use your phasers to stun these Datas. It's going to get to the point where it's so overwhelming, and he's going to be like, all right, there's only one way to solve this. Now, just like in Men in Black, at the very end, there's a button you get to press that destroys the alien, right?
Can we hit the Men in Black button and just make me forget everything that you've said?
No, because it's going to get better. Because here's what's going to happen is I've already scripted this, is you're going to get to that final thing. It's too much, but I've managed to patch in a shortwave EMP into your vehicle. All you need to do is you see that red button, go ahead and crush it. All right? Because I think Wesley Crusher needs a catchphrase.
Okay, first off, you're getting super close to my Star Trek fan fiction, where they have to use an EMP, and it's possible that it's going to kill Data. Because he's got the positronic brain. The whole thing, I just want to see Worf take a chainsaw to the Borg. That's sort of my whole idea. I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Let's see. First off, this is going back in the conversation a second. I have a question for Spencer, but this also pertains to Brad. Do you remember in Fistful of Datas where somebody was like breaking a chair over Worf, and you saw the stunt double in close up, like he was just not Michael Dorn? That made me laugh. Hey, Brad, who played Geordie LaForge?
Who played Geordie LaForge? The Reading Rainbow guy.
Do you remember that episode of Reading Rainbow where they actually almost killed him?
You mean LeVar Burton? That was it.
You don't get bonus points for it now, bud.
All right, now I've got to finish off my attraction here. Okay, so that is my holodeck ride. It's a sort of shooter dark ride. type deal that takes you through an episode of the holodeck. Allows me to throw in a little something different. Now, you're going to have to leave the Enterprise at some point. So I'm giving 2 options to be able to leave the Enterprise. You can either return on the shuttle, all right? So you can go back there'll be a sort of exit on the same shuttle bay where they unload and load people back on, so you can return back to Earth that way. Or you can be beamed down, all right? So you can go to the teleporter room, where you will then be able to go into the teleporter and using the magician's trick of sort of teleporting the audience or stuff like that. We're going to use that trick to make it seem like you're being beamed down to the platform on Earth, located at the Starfleet Academy. So
you get us to a question here, Brad.
Yes.
Did they ever get that problem solved? Remember that episode where Barclay was beaming and there were those big worms that would like attack your face? Did they ever get that cleared up?
Yes.
Good.
This might be my favorite episode.
So therefore, going.
That's
going
you there, Brad. Is Scotty still in the pattern buffer? Did they get him out? How's he doing?
How's he doing? Oh, he died. There's a memorial plaque for him on the wall.
Rest in peace, Montgomery Scott. Rest in peace, Ro Lauren.
I found
All right.
that Michelle
Tough.
1955, and she is still alive. Yeah.
I'm
Great.
still alive and well.
All right, Brad, is that the end of your pitch?
So that's the end of my.
I'm gonna stop you there, Brad. No, I'm
All right. So, Jimmy, do you have any other questions about the rides themselves?
no. Asked and answered.
Excellent. Well, Brad, you outdid yourself. And from now on, Jimmy, you are to be with every single one of Brad's pitches because, my God, fun for me. So let's jump right into my pitches here. Full disclosure, I am not an avid Star Trek watcher. I appreciate it and respect it, and I spent as much time as I physically could watching it to gather what I'm doing here. If I mess up, all right, moving on.
You did better than you didn't watch any of it.
Yeah, at least I watched a few. So let's start off with the idea of the theming of the land itself. Now, I loved Brad's idea about take it up to a walkable enterprise where you were able to enjoy it. The only problem is that the different enterprises seem to have different feels and design. So this is my first ever vertical theme park. The idea being that it's going to be part of what would be like a hotel. You can make it look like a hotel, but it's going vertically. The open air bazaar is the Starfleet Academy that allows you to beam up via an elevator that looks like the beaming up area to whatever generation enterprise or set of different levels you decide to go with. But this time around, we're dealing with Star Trek The Next Generation. So we are dealing with the Enterprise D/Enterprise E, and sometimes Enterprise C, the Enterprise C, but that was only for a little bit.
Peter McGavin was the captain.
Right. So we're specifically focusing on D. That's the one I'm going to be aiming here.
So we just had to build a theme area for Star Trek: The Next Generation, specifically Star Trek: The Next Generation, and you've gone ahead and already built your theme area to allow for you to expand to the other.
Oh yeah.
Knowing that we're going to do, you better remember this pitch then when we do future episodes. Of Star
will
Trek.
not.
Well,
so let's start off with something.
I
will. Growing up in LA, I had a lot of family in Vegas, and we would go to Vegas a lot. And one of the things that I found to be super fun that I hear isn't as much there anymore is what I like to call my first place, which is called Engage. And this is a wedding chapel experience that anyone can use to get married at a theme park. Now, I know some hardcore fans would love to get married on the bridge of the Enterprise by a ceremony run by Picard playing the flute. You're able to walk down the aisle and get married on the bridge by the ship's captain. This set that is built to the exact style of the bridge would allow you to meet in the center and be married by either a regular Picard, a Borg version, or one of your favorite characters that can come in, with the exception of Q. And that's for another reason that I'll revisit in a second. So this is an area where you and your betrothed can get married and get engaged, filled with face-palming moments and lovely wine from Picard's winery. So that's the first attraction, an engagement area, because most theme parks do make money with people wanting to get married there. It's a thing that I've never tackled with before, but one of the biggest attractions at Disneyland is that. Yes, Jim?
Some questions.
Yes.
Is the hotel based off of the hotel from Star Trek The Next Generation, the Royale? We all remember that terrific episode where the aliens, like, there was like an astronaut from NASA, and they accidentally like killed his crew or something. So they
Or
were like trying to
something.
make. What? I'm sorry.
Or something. I thought you were the expert, Jimmy
Or
Mac.
That's like season 1. It's old. So the aliens, like, they found a book in the shuttle, and it was like this trashy like pulp book, and so they were like, oh yeah, that's what humans experience, and so they set it up. Noble Willingham, the terrific character actor, you know, the Texan, the guy who owned the Dolphins in Ace Ventura.
Yep.
Yeah, he was terrific in that episode. Is your hotel based on that?
Oh no. To answer your question, no.
Okay, great. I had another question. It escapes me now. We'll as soon as Brad's saying something, I'm sure I'll remember it. I'll see up
some
that.
notes.
Okay.
So that's the first attraction. It's an interactive space where you're able to get married and have the queue while enjoying that. The next stage is a little bit of overlap with Brad, but I'm not just going to throw it away as a concept. I'm going to really expand into it. And let's talk about a fully interactive 10 forward. You are greeted by Guyan, who takes you from the maitre d's table and sits you down at chairs that you can throw your leg over. And it's an area that is for celebration that can change with its theme, but mostly in the sense that they offer the 10 Sunday challenge, where people are able to order 10 Sundays, mistakenly, thinking about how hungry they are, and they could challenge themselves to eat 10 ice cream sundaes. Other wonderful things included are different themed meals that you can have, including a jelly parasite, if you would like it, up to you. But this is sort of a dessert / area where you can sit down and enjoy yourself. Be centered around different characters from the universe entering and exiting. And of course, the only way into it is via a whoosh door. So that would be my...
You bashed mine and described yours as interact. I said mine was a restaurant and bar, as in like that's interactive. All you did was you just named 2 other items that are happening.
It's called reframing
and a
narrative.
Sunday challenge.
This is coming from a person whose favorite series has multiple iterations going off of the same concept. I'm not bitter, but I'm just saying reboots tend to happen, and we just get used to it. Now, here is my main attraction. This is Q's Wild Ride. Q's Wild Ride takes people on an experience that's going to basically be playing the role of Picard. Throughout this different setting type scenarios, it's going to be on sort of like a World of Tomorrow style motion car with a rotating centerpiece at first. Q will decide to put you through the test as what humanity has to offer. You will go through and see the different versions of Q and different animatronics dressed in different things. We'll see him as a mariachi band. We'll see him dressed up as a World War II character-esque version of Bob Hope. We'll do all the different versions of Q as he takes you on his favorite lessons, all ending in the trial. I want to make sure I get the quote right for this. The trial never ends. So you're going to be doing flashbacks of moments throughout the Star Trek series where Q is messing with the narrative and trying to prove to you that humans are not worth it and trying to teach you one final lesson. It ends with you hearing through the speaker of it in the same style of the Haunted Mansion with the ghosts. Q appears in your car and tells you that he will see you out there. Now, one of the big things about this, and I'm trying to remember my notes here. No, that's about. You'll see him as the Napoleonic complex. You'll see all the different versions of Q.
Oh.
This is a slow-moving people mover ride that is not super high-paced or super hybrid type thing. It's literally just a people mover car. Towards the end of it, you'll ask yourself the philosophies of what you've seen. So throughout the different places of this ride and the little vignettes, you'll get windows into these ideas of what it is to be in charge. At the end, you'll be asked, and whatever your answer is will be written out as wrong thanks to you. So that's my animatronic-based ride.
So,
Jimmy, I'll take questions.
no,
Shut up, Brad. Some questions. Is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride the only ride that exists right now that judges you and punishes you mid-ride?
There are a few other ones. I think there's one in Sweden that has a morality complex built into the actual ride itself. But for the most part, no, not really. People don't like doing rides that scorn people as much anymore.
Is that true about the ride in Sweden?
Yeah.
I love it. What was my second question? I forgot it. I'll bring it up when Brad's talking.
Yeah,
All right,
ahead,
here's my quick question. Your research, you said you watched some episodes. Did your research pretty much only include watching like the first episode or two of Star Trek The Next Generation? Because you literally...
It was 5 episodes.
Okay, shut up, Brad. I remembered my my second question. Okay, was All Good Things, which, as we all know, is the series finale of Star Trek The Next Generation, was it ripping off The Simpsons? Is the inverted tachyon beam the cause of and solution to all of life's problems?
I'm going to go with, it depends on who you ask.
I'm asking you, Oliver.
In my opinion, I'm going to go with yes.
Cool. We're having fun.
Cool. So this is going very well, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say top 35 episodes. So, yeah, those are my rides. So you have Q's Wild Ride, which is basically a lay-on of a People Mover / Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, where you're being judged by a Q. You have my version of our cantina, if you will. And then on top of that, you have Engage, the engaging experience. So those are my rides. Jimmy, you have any questions on those before you make your final judgments?
I do. Shut up, Brad. In the 10 forward, does Riker pull out his bone?
He does not.
It's a trombone. It makes music. It's fun.
I know, but it's going to clash with the mariachi band that someone could bring in at any point.
Yeah. Okay, good call. No further questions.
Thank you. So, Jimmy, you've heard our pitches. You've gone through them. Let's talk awards. So, first category, Spencer, is what?
First category is practicality.
Practicality.
For practicality, I got to go with Spencer's. I love you, Brad.
For bronze?
No. For bronze, I got to give it to Brad. I'm sorry, man. I love you.
For which one? For which ride? You can give it to...
Which ride or attraction?
All of them. They were trash.
I'll still take the bronze point then, I guess.
Yeah.
Silver goes to Oliver. Spencer, for practicality alone, I really like your pitch for the Academy. The less Wesley Crusher, the better. Great.
I didn't have Wesley Crusher in my Academy at all. I had Will Wheaton.
Shut up, Wesley.
So to review just there, as a blanket statement, Brad got one point. My idea is just a silver in general. And then specifically, Spencer takes the gold for the week for his version of the Academy.
Yes.
Excellent. Let's move on to our next category, which is
creativity.
Now, you want to be specific to the rides themselves and the attractions.
Just as a blanket statement, I got to give the bronze to Brad. Just some hot garbage there. Let's see.
Mind you, everyone, Jimmy is Brad's guest. And this is an unprecedented move.
Worst decision.
Brad, you know why. Okay, so what category are we on?
Creativity.
Creativity. I gotta say, I really enjoyed I like the idea of Cisco's Cajun cooking. What was the name of that?
Cajun Cookout. And this is for bronze or for gold?
That's for gold. Oliver, you get silver.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take medium, just for every ride in general. But clearly, the Cajun Cookout, I am dumbfounded that this is currently happening. What an upset! So currently, sitting scores is me with a solid 4, Brad with 2, and Spencer somehow with 6.
Yes.
Now we're going to move on to the final category here, and that is going to be your favorite. This is the one that tickles your funny bone, the one that you enjoyed the concept of the most.
And you have a bronze, a silver, and a gold to award, and it can be a blanket statement or it can be an individual attraction.
Okay, so blanket statement. Brad, not your best work. Silver goes to Spencer, and Oliver, I got to give you the gold. I really liked the hotel. Noble Willingham was terrific in that episode. I hope he reprises his role. Rest in peace, Michelle Forbes.
I'll take it. I got to tell you, Jimmy. Not in a million years did I think that this is what would happen. What an upset!
Yeah.
But my God, Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us. Brad, do you have any thoughts before we wrap things up here?
Well, clearly I just am the better Star Trek fan and appreciate the true meaning of Star Trek. That is Wesley Crusher. And I'll take my 3 bronze points.
Wesley Crusher was the M. Night Shyamalan of Star Trek. Remember, what was that movie where he was the writer, where he's like the savior of the world?
Wesley Crusher was great. The writers sucked.
You suck, Brad.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Jimmy Mack as we end our episode. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and let us know what you thought of this, whatever this was. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Is there anything you would like to plug right before we leave?
Shut Up Wesley Podcast. It's at some web address. And do you guys remember that episode of Reading Rainbow where they almost killed LeVar Burton? Like,
I do.
Remembers this?
I do.
They put him in like the tub of ice and he went into shock like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was the Star Trek episode, but then I've watched it back and it wasn't. Like,
no, it was Reading Rainbow.
Clip. I want to see it.
All right, well, this is the end of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been your hosts. I'm Oliver.
I'm Brad.
I'm Spencer.
And this has been Theoretical Thrills. See you next time.
Did you enjoy the episode you just watched? Feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have an interpretation of an idea based on the theme of the week, feel free to tag us on social media with hashtag Theoretical Thrills, and we may feature your ride and attraction on the show.
Theoretical thrills, the theory of the thrill.